Hello and welcome to Building the Premier Accounting Firm. This is a podcast dedicated to individuals to help them build and have a successful accounting, bookkeeping, and tax business. As a show, we actually have basic topics that we address, such as pricing, marketing, client onboarding strategies, client relationship strategies, just a healthy discussion with the experts as to what it is you can be doing in your business to, in fact, build the quality accounting firm that you would like to and get paid what you're worth as an accountrepreneur. I'm your host, and I'm excited to be with you today. For more than 20 years, I've been actually working with accounting professionals to help them build successful accounting businesses with an emphasis on sales strategies, marketing strategies, service-oriented things that they can actually provide to their clients to work more as an advisor or coach, but most importantly, helping them build the business that they would like to have, whether it be a solo entrepreneur or working with staff as an accounting business, providing quality accounting services in their area. Now, for the 20 years that I've been doing this, I've had the opportunity to actually help people start and build, and therefore this show is intended to actually give you an opportunity to learn some of the insights that you need to be focusing on in your business today to help you do exactly that, build the premier accounting firm in your area. Now, I'm happy to have on the show today a guest that I'm sure you're all going to enjoy listening to. This is Katie Swanson, CPA and CVA. She happens to be someone that is a fitness enthusiast, and she's been doing this all of her life. She's basically running right now her business. She has a strong foundation that was built on competitive swimming and sports at a young age, which laid the foundation for her staying healthy. Katie has been a certified Zumba instructor in the past and taught group fitness classes. Today, fitness routines center around group fitness, such as demand workouts, running, and triathlons. She runs a business called Change Collaborative. It specializes in building strong financial core for fitness businesses through identifying business goals, developing a business financial plan to meet those goals, measuring progress, creating tech-driven processes, implementing systems, and bulking up on business value. So with that being said, Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
This is going to be fun. So obviously, as a CPA, you have a start in accounting that I'd like to kind of share. Give us a background on what it is that drew you to the profession. How did you become an accountant after all?
Well, first, I was a finance major, and I liked the accounting classes that I took as part of my major, and had at one point thought I would double major in accounting, but then decided I was done with school and wanted to get out as fast as I could. So I actually graduated with a finance major in 3.5 years. And then upon moving to Louisiana, started working with a CPA firm and quickly decided I needed to get my CPA license. So that meant going back to school, getting the accounting courses that I needed to sit for the CPA exam and sitting for the CPA exam. So that was really how I got into accounting, and worked for a CPA firm for 2 years, kind of the minimum that I needed to in order to get my license, and then went into corporate, which was my love. I loved being in corporate accounting, and I was there and corporate accounting and finance. And I was in corporate accounting and finance for probably about 10 years. And then another move transitioned to getting back into public accounting for about 4 years. And then from there, I started my own business, Change Collaborative.
So obviously you have a love for it. I can sense the passion that you already have for the corporate accounting and so forth. You said you got out of it, went 4 years into that space again. Why go out on your own? Why the entrepreneur side?
I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and that love for being in corporate accounting and ingrained in the operations of a business and working with operations and really seeing the business side is what I liked, and really kind of the finance side of helping plan out the financials for the business. I wanted to do that prior to going into public accounting, but ended up going back into public accounting. And then that love just really is what drove me to leave the traditional public accounting firm and start my own.
So what was it like getting your very first client?
I guess it was exciting. There's kind of just like, is it really going to happen? I can't believe that just happened. My first client actually came through Upwork. I was on Upwork looking for, it's just like Upwork.com, I think, which is really like a freelancer website. But I actually got my first 2 clients through there. And then I joined a local chamber and got my 3rd client through local networking. And then once I, in more marketing efforts, put out a webinar and was determining, how do I market this to some target audience, and refining that and building in my love for fitness. We marketed to fitness and wellness businesses, and then came kind of my first fitness center as a client, which then led me to kind of gave me the confidence that I could niche down.
Uh-huh.
And so that's when I decided to niche down to just serving the fitness industry.
Well, you just answered my next question is, when did you actually transition to focus and niche into a specific industry? And it sounds like it was pretty early on.
Probably, I would say about 8 months in.
Mm-hmm.
And that really was driven by, how do you market? Because prior to that, it's pretty broad. I mean, I didn't need to be, my vision was never that I was going to be like the best local accounting firm. I had been targeting still businesses of the same size as the fitness centers that I want to work with, which is between $1 million and $20 million of annual revenue. But finding those just businesses in general was difficult. Like on a marketing side, how do you find those businesses? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were in the chamber. That's where I got one client. But then just trying to send out and reach more. How can you do that? And it just kind of required niching down a little bit more, because I sent out marketing on a national level, which could be a really large list. So that's kind of where that came from.
Now, you obviously with your niche have identified, let's say, the fitness world. You've definitely focused on the, let's say, the gyms and so forth. I'm kind of curious, how has what you did as a youth with the swimming that you had done and so forth kind of played a part in your desire and your success focusing on the fitness world?
So it's really combining my passions. And where I spend my energy. So my energy really is spent in 3 buckets, which is fitness, family, and professional career. And it's really kind of aligning all of those, and that I get to still read, just spend time in the fitness industry, because I love fitness. And so learning about the industry and, what's happening in the industry, the challenges that they're facing, I pay attention to all of that, which is very interesting to me. And then it brings a good perspective in, the finances and accounting for a gym.
Do you find yourself in some of the conversations speaking from the point of view of their customers because you're in that fitness space as a user? Do you ever bring that element into the conversations that you have with your clients?
I find it hard, what's that line that you don't want to cross? I think I bring a good perspective because I bring more than just the numbers focus to the relationship, and that I understand what it's like to go to a gym, like some of the lingo, some of, their offerings and that kind of thing, rather than having no experience and the type of the business that they run, but also trying to figure out what that fine line is, because they are the operator of their gym and, the expert in their business and really their vision and what they want to carry out in their gym and what they want that strategy to be. So that's really a lot of their vision and focus, and, trying not to overstep some line or boundary and pushing my own opinion or my own ideas of what they could do. So, just understanding what are the kinds of questions you can ask that would help them figure that out for themselves in order to put the financial plan together.
I love that. You said that so very well. So here's a question. Because of the passion that you already have for the niche that you're servicing, you're in that fitness space. One of the questions that I think sometimes we as accounting professionals experience is opportunities from a business point of view to become invested in or partners with or become involved with the business model beyond just doing the accounting services. Have you ever had that opportunity present itself where the client is looking possibly for that partnership relationship that's more than just doing the accounting? Or have you ever seen the opportunity present itself for you to get more involved than just being the one that's doing the books?
Right. And I mean, that's exactly what we're looking to do. And that's really where Change Collaborative came from. Is that collaboration beyond just here are your numbers. That's not the type of relationship we're looking for at all in working with any customers that we work with. And that's really what that business advisory is becoming their partner and looking out for their, what are their goals and vision, and making sure that that's getting carried out and getting mapped out in the financial plan that we put together for them. And the bet, really one of my favorite parts, I love putting the numbers together, but one of my favorite parts is also communicating with the gym owner, the business owner, and communicating the results. And then just that conversation that comes from presenting the numbers to them. So every relationship that we have is more than accounting and bookkeeping.
So one of the things that I know is important to you is the word transformation. Tell me why that word is so powerful to you.
And I guess it's kind of funny. It really started for me personally in fitness, because that word very much plays into a fitness, someone's fitness journey and how they're transforming their body. But transformation and change are very similar. And, if I don't like the way something's going, or, the way I'm feeling about something, like, let's change it. Let's figure out how we can make it better, and let's change. That's always kind of personally been the way I live my life. And in my own fitness journey, I've always, been this fitness enthusiast, but I'm also looking for transformation in some way in my fitness routine. And then, really working with businesses and how they're going to transform their business, based on the vision they have and the strategy that they have, and how we can build a financial plan to help them make the best decisions in that transformation. And I go back to Change Collaborative again, because that's really who needs the types of services that we offer, which is that financial planning, because they need to know what that financial horizon looks like for them, so that they can make the best decisions for their business.
Exactly. Well, I like that. So this is going to be a fun question that I'm going to ask next, and it's got two parts to it. And it's regarding the fact that obviously in your career as an athlete, you would have worked with coaches. And in working with coaches, I'm sure you've had good experience seeing both, the goods and the bads, and you've seen how they've driven you to basically find within yourself that greater excellence. I'm curious, one, from a business point of view, coaching, how have you benefited in your own running of the business from coaches? Have you used coaches? How do you feel coaching actually applies from what you experienced in your youth to the business you have today? What can you tell us about coaching in general?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I love this. And I feel like you brought something to light there that, my youth athletic experience, made me realize how much a coach can help bring out the best performance in an individual or a team. So in starting my business, I knew I wanted to work with a coach that's going, they're going to help me always strive to be better and perform higher. And so I have since, even before I started my business, just in kind of the exploration of what do I do, and figuring out that I was going to start a business, I worked with a coach. And then once I started my business, I have worked with a coach consistently to, just in that. They help bring other ideas, help me stay accountable. Just help me make sure that I'm performing the best that I can in my business and for my customers.
I love that. Coaches are so integral to success. And there's two things that I have found professionally. One, when bringing up the idea of a coach, sometimes people presume that a coach is there because something's broken and they're trying to fix it, when in reality, I think more often it's the professional athlete. It's the person who is great at what they do, realizing that they could be so much better if they just had a different perspective on their current situation. And so they bring in the coach, and it's this person that can actually help them see things that they may be overlooking. But most importantly, it's hold them accountable so that once the goal is declared, I want to get the state championship in this, I want to beat this record or whatever. Once they've identified the goal, the purpose for all this focus, the coach can then hold them accountable and keep them on pace to say, well, you're the one that said you wanted to do this. Well, if you want to do this, you've got to do these things daily to achieve it. And that accountability means that we're able to then meet the objective that we set out to accomplish. And I think coaching is so incredible. So I'm glad that you've mentioned what you have. So here's the next question that I have for you. It's regarding coaching still, and it's in the accounting profession. For years now, we've been hearing that the accounting profession is evolving, especially because of technology and so forth, beyond just providing quality accounting reports, providing the financial reports, but it's now necessitating that as accounting professionals, we look at becoming more advisors or coaches with our clients. What kind of role do you see that as when you're working with your clients? How are you a coach?
It's a primary role, although, right, like we don't market it as being a coach, but definitely in the conversations that we have with our customers, I mean, we are playing a little bit of that role. I have kind of two examples in working with a couple clients. One is, we're helping them with more of the traditional CPA services regarding PPP and ERC at the moment, but they've expressed interest in a recurring engagement with them really around business strategy. Historically, they've worked with a tax preparer more on like a tax strategy side, which isn't necessarily the same thing as business strategy and making increasing profit and making sure you're making business strategic decisions rather than just reducing tax liability. They're completely different. Mm-hmm. And so, just in some of the marketing materials and articles that we've written, they see kind of what kind of partner we could be with them in those kinds of conversations and determining, business strategy and kind of being their partner in that. And a lot of this comes, and then my second one is a current customer that I have calls with every week, just more on like a business operational side to make sure that we know what's happening in their business, to make sure the bookkeeping is getting done right. And what we've built into those weekly conversations too is pipeline for them, for their customers, so that we can forecast that out for them and make sure, what we came up with at the first of the year, 9 months ago, as far as what their forecast and strategy was, is that playing out actually, week to week and, month to month, and what is actually, coming in as customers to their business, and kind of just that's kind of help holding them accountable. Also, every week we talk about what's in your pipeline. They know what their break even is and what they need to meet. And, currently what's in their pipeline, they're good with, but just making sure they're always doing those activities to make sure that they have enough in their pipeline to meet their break even and meet their goals. Mm-hmm. And then monthly, we meet with that same client and specifically go over financials and talk more long-term strategy and help model out what that looks like for them. So definitely that coaching really comes in those set calls that we have with our customers, either weekly or monthly.
I'm really liking this conversation about coaching. I think it's so appropriate for not only your business model and what you're doing, but I think for our listeners, it's something that they can relate to. Many of us have in our youth some coach that we've worked with, and it could be even a mentor in some capacity. So I want to ask this question, which is, in your life, who's really been an influence that you kind of reflect on or draw from as you run your business? And, who is it and what is the lesson that you learned from them?
Yeah, so I have two actually that I want to talk about, because one is more really was a coach that I had in my youth, and how I still hear his words play out to me even today in my personal fitness goals and in professional. And that was my coach when I was playing youth basketball. When I was in middle school, he was the head high school basketball coach, and so was very involved in our practices. And in basketball, we would do suicides in practice. And he would always yell out, "You run through the line," because we would run like line to line is what suicides are. You run through the line, right? Like you don't run to the line, you run through the line. And I mean, seriously, to this day, when I'm performing either in fitness or in business, that's always in the back of my, that's kind of the little voice in my head. and helps me stay a top performer, both fitness and professionally.
Yeah, I don't know if you brought back great memories with those suicides, but yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, going up and touching the line or going through the line. So thank you for that visual.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your second one?
Yeah, so this was is more of a professional mentor, and in stepping out my business, she still continues to be a mentor of mine that we touch base. But when I was in corporate, she was CFO, and her leadership style really was this inspirational leader, and that was kind of my first encounter of leading through inspiration. And it really resonated with me, and something that I have actually brought into my business. Is trying to inspire others, whether that's, other professionals in the industry, or, other like network connections, and even customers, or, those just in my marketing reach. I put out a newsletter that's called Inform, Inspire, and Ignite Change. And so that really, I think, she was my first introduction to that type of leadership style. And I look for inspiration everywhere, in every relationship that I have, to inspire me to be the best that I can be. And I really feel like that came from her leadership style. And so I would say, it's Lexi Wellman is who that was. She was CFO in corporate when I worked in corporate.
Perfect. No, two great examples, and I like that. Now, I'm going to get a little off topic here because I think this is still appropriate because of what we're talking about with coaching and so forth, but it's the idea of freedom. What does freedom mean to you?
It's really being able to being in a position to make the best decisions that are best for me. Very
good. And do you have a go-to food? As a health professional, as a fitness expert, what do you want to say right now?
Yeah, so for me, it's homemade. It's actually homemade protein balls. I mean, I'll eat prepared protein balls, but that's my snack. Like literally every day, I probably have one in the morning and one in the afternoon because I like to snack. And so I prepare those, on a couple times a month to make sure I always have those on hand as a healthy snack. And it is amazing, the energy and these protein balls don't have anything special in them. They're oatmeal, honey, peanut butter, and some chocolate chips, and then like some flaxseed. But it is crazy how much energy you can get from protein.
So I was literally going to ask you, what was the context of the protein ball? And I in my mind specifically thought it was going to be a peanut butter one. And you totally just answered that. That's funny. So with your go-to food, I'm going to ask the opposite. What is your comfort food of choice?
Probably like French fries.
Do you have?
I love French fries, if that's what you're looking for. I mean, that's like, I don't eat French fries for comfort, but that's like kind of the unhealthy indulgence, maybe.
All right. Well, some of us are going to now start feeling guilty if that's your worst thing. But in any case, this is funny. So French fries, are you a steak fry person or a thin fry person?
I would say any of them. Curly fries, steak fries, thin fries.
Do you have, this might be an endorsement to somebody, but as a venue, is there a specific fry that you prefer from like a fast food place or something?
Oh, no. No.
So I'm a steak fry guy. I like Red Robin's steak fries. I especially when I can go there and they have their unlimited fries that they'll bring to the table as you're waiting. That for fries, that's my go-to right there. So that's my 2 cents on that one. Let's end on this. I'm going to go ahead and kind of recap what it is we've discussed, and I'm going to come back to you and see if you have I'm going to get a closing thought from you, Katie. So let me just kind of summarize a few things that I've really liked from our conversation. The first being that Katie started her profession and very quickly got into niching, and the choice that she made was, in my opinion, going back to what she was very passionate about, but at the same time, something that she had done since her youth, and it's the fitness area. So she got into something that she already had an interest in, and most importantly, could have some input on. And from that, she went with the idea of really kind of coaching her clients and helping them. That's the mentality that she's bringing to this whole conversation. And I think it's such an added value that is, she said it well, it's kind of hard to articulate in the sales process what more than just accounting we're doing with the clients when we're offering, let's say, coaching services. But at the end of the day, that is what we're doing as we deliver the financial reports and help them now take from that information what it is they need to run their businesses more effectively. What we're trying to do is actually then help them take that information to make more informed business decisions for their own companies. And so that relationship she's describing is so helpful. We talked about coaching as to how it impacts us personally. A lot of us can draw from personal experiences, how we were bettered by those experiences. But then at the same time, how has it impacted our own business? And at the same time, how are we bringing it to our clients? I mean, there's a lot of elements there. Now, as for an offer today, just so that I can quickly add to this, we do have two really nice offers. Katie has been very kind. She basically is going to provide in the episode description an opportunity to book a 15-minute phone call if you'd like to just talk to her about her and her business and what it is she's doing in her company. So in the episode description, you will find the link to schedule a time to actually do so with her. And then likewise, in the episode description, since we've been talking so much about coaching, you'll find there information that you need to have about what it is that Universal Accounting Center offers with its programs related to coaching to help you literally get the support you need from an academic point, from a business coaching point of view, from a life coach point of view, to get all the resources you're needing to successfully start and run your own accounting, bookkeeping, tax business. Now, as a CPA, one of the things that you're doing here is Katie, really going out there and making a difference with your clients. So do you have any final words of encouragement or thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners today?
I would say, so many, I feel like I'm stealing somebody's words in this, but don't wait for it to be perfect to go do it. Like, go do it and perfect it along the way. This is kind of what I say a lot in fitness, and then it's really come to be a mantra in my business is progress over perfection. Like, take the step forward. It's not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, and that's better than not starting at all.
Perfect. I actually quite like that. There's a lot of perfectionism in our industry, and I think a lot of times the accounting professional is not inclined to launch or do something until everything is perfect. And so often we just need to act and get going and then perfect things along the way. So I like what you just shared there. So thank you. So as we wrap this up, let me just basically say this. If it's about accounting, remember, it is universal. Listen to our other episodes. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so that you can get notifications as to our other episodes as they come out and are released. And for more information about these principles and others that we've discussed, feel free to reach out to us directly. You can go to our website at universalaccountingschool.com, or you can give us a phone call at 801-265-3777. And always remember this, accounting success is universal. Take care and have a great day.